wherever you're sitting right now, feel your lower body. Feel where you're touching whatever you're sitting on. Imagine roots growing down deep into the earth. Feel the connection between the earth beneath you and your feet and your legs and your pelvis. Feel deep in your hips the sense of being grounded, connected to the earth beneath you. You feel that? I'm Julian Walker. This is part 3 of chakra psychology, and we're going to talk about Muladhara, the root chakra. So, the chakra system is the set of mythic symbols that points us in the direction of being more fully alive, more integrated, more empowered, more connected to the capacities, the different energies that we have within us. And at the level of the first chakra, what we're talking about is being grounded, being at home in your body, being comfortable in your skin, being in touch with your capacity for sensuality, for ecstatic experience, for waking up what symbolically, metaphorically, mythopoetically is described as this kundalini serpent that's wrapped 3.5 times around this energy center at the base of the spine and gets awakened to express herself, to move through the different stages and levels and aspects of what it is to be human in a way that is healing, in a way that is about growth and self-development. At this first energy center, as she begins her journey, this journey that reflects something about how we can engage in inner work at this first level, this is what she's concerned with. This is what we are concerned with in terms of how we become more whole, more alive. How comfortable do you feel in your own skin? Are you really grounded in your body? And the answer to that question changes from moment to moment depending on different factors. What happens over time as we develop this particular capacity is it becomes more reliable, it becomes more consistent. It might fluctuate a little bit, but the baseline, the base, the depth, the sense of grounding and connection to the earth beneath us becomes more consistent. It can get steadier over time. So can you feel your feet and your toes right now? Can you feel the places where you're touching the floor or touching whatever you're sitting on? And what happens in our lives is that we have experiences that shake up that sense of grounding, of being at home in our bodies, of being comfortable in our skin, of feeling that sense of, it's a kind of empowerment, it's a kind of solidity, it's a sense of knowing where you are in space and time, right? And having your legs underneath you, having a leg to stand on, right? Being able to shoot from the hip, being able to be in the moment and respond as needed on multiple levels, right? So that's purely physical, it's also emotional, it's also mental. And you know what it feels like to be ungrounded. You know how it feels to be kind of scattered and disembodied and fragmented, maybe even dissociated. That's the opposite of grounding. And so that's part of what is being looked at and considered and healed. That's part of where the work of personal growth exists when we talk about the first chakra. So notice how that feels. And as I was saying, we have experiences in our lives where we feel abandoned, or where we feel violated, or where perhaps our sense of embodiment is shamed. Maybe there's been shaming around the body. In all human cultures, there's a long history of a kind of shame around being a body, having a body, inhabiting a body, right? And that shame can be around bodily functions. It can be around sexuality. It can be around how the body is supposed to look and therefore not look, whether or not the body is beautiful, whether or not the body is sacred or seen as disgusting. So in all religious traditions, including the yoga tradition, there's a strain of Puritanism that says the body is disgusting, that says sex is the opposite of virtue or being spiritual or being enlightened or something like that. This is part of what we can heal. This is part of, I think, the great message of a more tantric, more non-dual, more humanistic orientation towards spirituality, or as I prefer to call it, awareness practice. So we affirm the sacredness of the body. We affirm that there is an erotic energy, an erotic aliveness that expresses itself in multiple ways, right? That sexual energy that gives rise to all of life as we know it, that is where each of us began, that moves through us and is expressed through creativity, and is expressed through love and passion, deep engagement with reality, a sense of discovering the sacred, perhaps through the arts, perhaps through the intellect, perhaps through embodied expression and relation. At all of these different levels, the energy is seeking to be expressed. And when it is being expressed, when it is being allowed its process, there's a sense of effortlessness, there's a sense of aliveness, there's a sense of self-acceptance. And this all starts with the root chakra. This all starts by inviting a more radically accepting embrace of embodiment. And so part of this is being really aware of your sensations. When we're disconnected, when we feel ungrounded, perhaps even dissociated or fragmented, we lose track of our sensory experience. Our sensory experience keeps us in the here and now. We're processing present reality. When we get pushed out of that, either through shame or trauma or overwhelming stress, we lose track of that sensory relationship to reality. And a lot of times people think that conversations about things like the chakra system are very ethereal and airy-fairy, but no, we're talking about reality. We're talking about really being here, really engaging. And so notice your sensations right now. And whether you can name them or not, no pressure, just notice any sensations and let yourself feel them. And when you let yourself feel your sensations in a receptive way, really you're signaling the somatosensory cortex, which is this strip on either side of your brain. You're saying, be turned on more, be lit up more. And when that somatosensory cortex is lit up more, there's a rich sense of being alive and in touch with your sacred body, your one precious body. So feel that right now. Just talking about it a little bit, I just got a little wave of tingles throughout my body. Notice if you have anything like that. Let your breath get a little deeper. And notice that when you're more grounded, it actually becomes safe. There can be a trust of a kind of excited, tingly, sparkly aliveness that when we're not grounded, we might interpret as nervousness or fear, but it's really aliveness. And when we're open to it, when we're in touch with it, that aliveness has a powerful, pulsating, entirely natural, beautiful, ecstatic propensity, where the way I'm using the word ecstatic is ecstasis, the movement out of stuckness, the movement into fluid, alive, connected, pulsating, shimmering sense of your own existence. Take a few breaths with that. And notice if any of the themes I've talked about so far around the first chakra are really live for you. And I encourage you, if you want to today, to do some journaling around that, or just take this stuff with you into your meditation, your yoga, your dance, whatever you're doing today. I'll see you soon.